Welcome to Through the Rough, a place where real-life people share the real-life experiences that have shaped us into who we are today.
Welcome back to part 3 of Tessa's story.
Yeah, okay, well, that's per the usual. I was expecting that. But, they didn't do anything outside of normal 5-panel, but we didn't expect any kind of toxin or drug or anything at this point.
Like, who the fuck is looking for a date rape drug when it comes to a stroke?
Yeah, I mean, people were more thinking, like, it could be her birth control or something like that. Like, I've had, one of my girlfriends had a pulmonary embolism, like a clot in her lung from birth control. So a clot could form.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's your high risk for blood clots with birth control.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep. And high risk for stroke.
Yep.
Long-term use could eventually turn into cancer.
I did not know that.
So, and I knew this at the time. Like, I had gone through multiple forms of birth control, so I knew the risks. I knew all these things. I also knew that, like, at the time I was still a cigarette smoker. Not a heavy smoker, but I was a smoker. So that also increased your chances.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the time I just thought, well, shit, it could be that. It could be I did this to myself with alcohol. I don't know, but I thought it was my fault. I thought it was because I had clearly done something the night before me up and sent me into this tailspin. I had no idea why. I was so confused still, but I just thought, but it just has to be me. I didn't think of any outside source at the time. I just kept thinking that it was my fault, and I had obviously lost control of myself and made bad decisions, and now I'm here. So yeah, it weighed on me a lot, and I feel like I kept it together in the hospital with my sister. She just kind of sat there and held my hand and told me that it was going to be okay and that she was there now. And
How old is your sister?
she is about to turn 21. So at the time she's 18, 19 years old.
Yeah. She's a kid herself.
She's a kid. And yet she's looking at her only sibling, her older sister, who was like, I was like a second mom to her. And yet she's taking care of me in this situation. And she did such a good job. Like, she was so level-headed and calming in that moment. Like, she also does, like, in-home healthcare. Like, she is that person.
Mm-hmm.
She's meant for this kind of work. So yeah, she was a very calming presence for me when she came in. And yeah, I mean, she just knew exactly what I needed because I've known what she's needed her life. So yeah, it's a special bond, and I was super, super thankful that she was there. And I think it held it together really well until my mom got there. And when my mom got there, I remember just like breaking down and sobbing, and I kept touching my chest and trying to say the word shame to my mother and my sister and trying to explain. And my mom kind of asked, she's like, do you feel shame for this? And I just nodded. And she's like, you think you did this? And I nodded. And she looked at me and she said, honey, you didn't do this. This is not you. This is not your fault. Do not think that this is your fault. And I should have probably trusted her more in that moment, but I was still so hung up on it's me. I did this. Like, it was like just one of the lowest points in my whole life. Honestly, I just thought I had just completely ruined everything for myself, for my family, for my partner, for work. Like, I had just fucked myself.
By drinking uncontrollably and putting yourself in this position. That's your thought?
When I can only remember having those 2 beverages.
Yeah.
But it must be me. it must be me. I did this. I had to have done something wrong. And that was my frame of mind for that entire evening, um, and into the next day until we found out more details. Um, but yeah, so they had, doctors and neurologists coming in and talking to me about what they could tell, checking my reflexes on both sides of my body. They could tell that like my left side was worse than my right, but I did still have some symptoms that were like bilateral, I guess is the right way to say it.
What does that mean?
That affects both sides of your body.
Okay. Like right and left brain?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So, but most of mine was left-sided, and that continued through like all of the therapies that I did during recovery. I did have to focus on like the balance of getting both sides to work and my muscles to listen, but it was that left side that even to this day, like my dexterity in my left hand, I don't feel is where it was before. So I probably am the only one that can tell that just because other people won't notice. Like I can do normal things and whatnot. Thank God I'm right-handed. So, but yeah, so we were working with the doctors and trying to determine exactly what caused this. I really wanted to go home. And of course, they're like, we really want to admit you. And I was adamant. I did not want to stay in the hospital. I did not want to pay that bill. I did not want to eat that food. I did not want to not smoke weed. I was stressed. I wanted to be with my dogs and my family in my house. And I was really sick of the hospital at this point.
And you'd only been there fucking 13 hours or whatever?
Yep.
8 hours, something like that?
Yeah. From about 3:30 to, I guess Benny got let in at 11. So
11.
it was middle of the night when we
Yeah.
left. But
So you left the same night?
the same, yeah.
You didn't have to, technically it's an overnight, but you didn't have to stay like a full 24-hour day.
Right. They wanted me to. But once the night nurse came in, she I don't know, she was just like an angel, I swear. Her name was Sage. If you know a Sage that works at UNMC, holler at her. She's great. I remember her. She has an awesome name, and she was amazing. But she got Benny into the hospital. She even had the front desk call her cell phone when he came in, and she said, "Yeah, I asked for him. Send him to this room." And then I remember like trying to tell her like I want to go home. I don't want to stay. Please don't make me stay. And she told me that she would let me go home if I could take some steps with a walker. So they got me a walker, and she stood on one side of me and Benny stood on the other. And I think I just kind of dragged myself with my arms, like bracing myself on this walker.
Because at this point, could you feel your hands still, or were they?
Yeah,
What were you physically feeling? Was anything coming back a little bit more, or?
My hands, I think, were the first thing that I started to get some control back over. I don't think there's any way I would have been able to like write something down at this point or like pick up something or grip something like to pick up. I didn't have that kind of strength, but I could brace my arms and lock my elbows on a walker. My legs did not want to listen or function well. So I kind of was just like shuffling and dragging myself with the help of Benny and the night nurse.
Were either foot moving in front of the other at all?
Kind of. I was able to move about 6 feet total
Okay.
with the walker. And it was so frustrating because I was telling my body to do something. And it seemed clear as day to me what we were trying to accomplish here. And it just wasn't listening. It just wasn't responding.
That like being in that position is hard to it's really hard to kind of like for me to put myself in that position because I haven't been there before. like mentally, emotionally, physically exhausting. You're literally holding. I mean, let's be honest. You were holding yourself up by your arms, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
kind of shinsing your way through it the
I was
best you could.
trying to like use my body to move the walker,
Yeah.
to shuffle it. It's not how you're
But you
supposed to
did.
use
But
a
you didn't have
walker.
any push off though, because your legs weren't working.
No,
Yeah.
no. My legs, my feet, my ankles, like it's like they weren't there. Like they were just like hanging from me.
She's telling you you got to walk. You're trying to demonstrate your best ability. Not
I can do
walking.
it. I can do it. No, bitch, no, you can't.
Are you at any point you're like, fuck, I'm not getting out of here tonight?
Well, yeah. As I'm trying to move myself, I'm thinking like Jade is, or Sage is about to tell me that I'm staying, and this is not movement. This doesn't work. This doesn't
doesn't
pass her
count.
test. But she didn't say that. She looked at me and she's like, all right, I'll let you go home, but you have to go. You have to follow up with your spinal surgeon. At the time, I had been regularly seeing my spinal surgeon, getting ready to have surgery. I needed to follow up with him. And I also needed to follow up with my primary and probably get a stronger MRI done. So she let me go. And they let me get in a wheelchair and be pushed out to the car. And then they helped me into the front seat. And I was just over the moon. So ready to be home. That was like such an exhausting and frustrating day. And I just wanted to be somewhere that felt normal. Even though I had to deal with like, fuck, I can't talk, I can't walk, I can't even like hold my phone. Like, I just want to be on my couch, please.
In my safe space.
Yes, in my safe space with my puppies and my family. And so yeah, I'm really, really, really thankful that Sage allowed me to go. Because yeah, mentally I was not in a place where I done well that night unless they drugged me up like a son of a bitch. But if they would have put me up, I mean, I might not have been the nicest patient. We'll just say that.
I mean, it's hard. You're challenged with your. I mean, your whole way of life is now officially being challenged by a situation that is outside of your control, and
Mhm.
you are sitting there. You or anybody in that position, I imagine, is sitting there trying to grasping with what is in your control. What can you do? Do you regain your life?
Exactly.
And there's like I can. You know how you're in a moment of stress when you can have a trillion thoughts within the period of a half a second?
Mhm.
Well, now you've got a lot of half a seconds. How many fucking thoughts are going through your mind at this point?
Yeah.
How do you contain those emotions? How do you contain and redirect and focus those thoughts to keep you from going in a downward spiral instead of picking yourself up?
I think that me wanting to go home was me recognizing that if I stay here, I'm going to go downward and it's not going to be good. I'm going to spiral and I'm going to be here, possibly alone. I don't know. And instead, allowing me to go home was giving me a little bit of control back. And sometimes I think I'm like, should they have just kept me? Should they have? Would we have found out more? I don't know. But because we went home the next day and were able to, we called my boss the next day to let him know. So this is Sunday, to let him know what happened, that obviously I would not be coming into work on Monday morning. And it was at that time, obviously Benny had to talk for me um, on the phone, but it was at that time that we found out that there were two other women who had had similar symptoms. They did not have a stroke, but they were violently ill.
Were they hospitalized at all?
No, no,
How long did their illness last? Like, and did that include just a fuck ton
most
of
of the
vomiting like
day.
yours?
Yeah, most of Saturday. And again, with like no memory for about 10 to 12 hours of that night. And then just continuous, like food poisoning, vomiting all day. So once explained that and said, I think we need to look into this being caused by a drugging or a toxin. 'Cause he's like, it's very strange that there's 3 women and you all had liquor in some way, shape, or form, and those of us who did not are fine.
Mhm.
So, that's when things kinda started to click, and I remember getting off the phone also, while I was on the phone with my boss, I'm trying to tell Ben, I'm like, "I won't be gone that long." Like, it's not gonna be that long. And my boss kept saying like, "Okay, well, we're gonna take this one day at a time." In my mind, I'm like, "I'm gonna be back in like 2 weeks, tops, okay? I'll be back."
Optimism.
Yeah.
Yeah. And luckily, yeah, my boss was just like, "Okay," pat me on the
Mm.
head. That
Did your boss have
that's
experience with
cute.
this type of stuff, like, in his family or friends or something like that? He's gone through this before, so he kinda knew what to expect?
He's definitely gone through, his own traumatic events, in life, whether it be himself, or his family.
But
They
does he have experience with a stroke where he was able to where you're like, "I'll be back in 2 weeks," and he didn't say it, but he knew that, "Oh, fuck, she's way off," and I know this?
Oh, honestly, I don't know, not that I'm aware of, but, I mean, he's got, like, extensive military training and whatnot, so they might have gone over it.
Well, yeah, I forget who I'm talking about.
I know, yeah, so I'm like, he may have had some knowledge. Like, I don't think it's happened to in his immediate family, at least not
Mhm.
that I'm aware of, but I think he understood that 2 weeks was not reasonable.
He's a pretty intelligent feller.
Yeah. I think you probably took over the fact that you weren't even able to talk.
Right.
That is, you know.
Yeah, and part of
Mhm.
my job at the time was, like, answering phones and talking to people, and yeah. I was not being realistic at the time. I was being very optimistic.
Which is good.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, but, no, I was very lucky that, like, my work was very understanding, and I was able to continue to be paid during this time while I was off. Um,
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I was very, very lucky. I don't know what I would have done if I had to go without pay for this amount of time. I mean, yeah, it would have been a totally different story, to be honest. But so we realized, okay, this may be something entirely different than we thought originally. And we got off the phone with my boss, and Benny just looked at me, and he's like, I think that may be what happened to you. And that in itself was kind of just another gut punch. I
Mm.
remember sitting with that thought.
I was gonna ask, what was that initial feeling like and thought process for you hearing that and kind of coming to that realization?
I think that it was a little bit of relief because a little bit of my shame went away,
Yeah.
but it also scared me and made me very angry to know that there were other people who had to go through that violent bout of illness and who had no memory and who woke up scared. And yeah, so I was also just super angry, but glad to know that maybe it wasn't all my fault after all. So yeah, I had to sit with that for a little while and really think back on the night and come to terms with what very likely did happen. And it's so scary even to this day. I'll try to put myself back in those last moments that I had where I remember and try to think what happened? What happened next? What happened? And it's just not there.
Mm.
So I don't know. I wish part of me wishes that I knew exactly what happened, what it was, who it was,
Mhm.
and part of me is just like, "You know what? I I don't really have the time or energy to dedicate to that. I should really focus on recovery.
If a genie could put the person who did this to you right in front of you right now, would you tell the genie to do it?
Yeah.
What would you say?
Don't fucking do that again.
Did you ask why?
Eh, I don't really know if that matters. Maybe. But do I really care now? Probably not. Not if it was now. If it was back then and they popped that motherfucker in front of me, then yeah. I'd
Yeah.
be like, why did you do this? But now I'm like, I don't care. Just don't ever do that again because you fucked me over for 2 years.
Do you forgive that person?
But yeah, I can't waste my energy hating them.
And look at you. You're a fucking boss.
I can't waste now living. I can't waste any second on that. It does me no good. It's not productive. The only thing I wish I could tell them was please don't ever do that again.
Do you feel closer to the fundamental meaning of life having gone through this experience?
I don't know if I know the meaning of
No. Do you feel closer to it?
Yeah, I guess than I was before. Sure, I think about it a lot more. I think about my existence and what I'm capable of, even just what the human self, the human psyche, the human body is capable of. I think about that a lot now.
Let's dive into that capability as we get a little farther into your progression of rehabilitation. But
Yeah.
you think about the effects on a person's psyche. This isn't happened all too long ago, and you're just coming out of a 2-year anniversary, so you're just getting your feet back on the ground, literally. You're just getting your tongue back into cheek, literally. You know,
Yeah, I'm very proud of where I am right now, especially with my speech. I used to do competitive speaking all through high school. I went to college and went to, through their speech communication program. So I never I mean, God, like I did a podcast just before the stroke and I couldn't listen to it afterwards. It was like I felt like a big part of me was taken away.
your identity.
Yeah. I didn't know who I was anymore.
Mhm.
And I quickly started to realize also that there were parts of my brain that worked differently now. And like if I needed to learn something new, I learn differently.
Explain that
Yeah,
to me.
explain.
So, from my understanding, with this fucking, what do they call it? It's neuroplasticity.
Yep.
Hopefully, I'm
Mhm.
saying that right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, um, so they explained that most likely, especially since I'm in good health, I'm young, my brain would reroute those broken paths. So it's almost like I experienced this trauma, this stroke, and there was a part of my brain that was damaged. However, it was capable of regrowing those parts, but the path would be different, basically, is what they kept telling me. Is like, it's not gonna be the same. You're gonna go from point A to point B, but your path is not gonna look the same. You're gonna be taking a different route.
Mhm.
So all of your learning and everything is different. Give
Yeah.
me example. Like, can you in this state of mind pinpoint the differences, like how you learned prior to how you learn now?
I think that there was one time, like the time that it really bugged me the most, where I came to notice it the most is when I had to learn, I learned how to do payables for my GM at work once I got back to work.
Like accounts, billing, and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was using a program that was broken anyways, and so they're
Fucking A.
Okay.
Did you make it any harder?
And I remember, like, I used to be able to just read through the steps and, kind of do it as I learn. And I'm just, reading through the step. Okay, I'm on the computer. I do this step, then I do that step, then I do that step. Okay, cool. Now I can repeat that, and repetitions will
Okay.
make it settle, right?
Yeah.
That's an easy way to learn. That didn't work now. Now I had to have someone show me, walk me through it. And a few times it was like I was slower at learning, or maybe I just didn't understand the right path that I needed to take at that time. My brain was probably still making new paths at that time, but it frustrated the hell out of me.
Did you ever going through that? I mean, it sounds to me like the way similar to a way some children learn, repetition reinforcement like that.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but did you ever did it ever make you feel childlike? Like how did you
Oh, yeah.
feel?
Yeah. I definitely felt like I felt I felt lost a little bit in that moment because you think about, like, we've been learning our whole lives,
Yeah,
right? Like, if you go through traditional schooling, like, you were 4 or 5 years old when you started learning, and you usually, depending upon the person, you learn in the same way for the most part throughout your life, and we know that everybody learns differently than others. There's different techniques,
yeah,
whatever. I had been very comfortable with learning things by doing and, like, kind of a self-taught, like, give me the big idea, give me the steps, and I can make these connections and make it happen. And then it just gets faster with repetition. I knew, like, with this new brain of mine needed repetition of someone else. I needed to watch.
visual. You went from kinesthetic to more visual.
Yeah, I needed to watch it being done and then repeat that and, like, mirror it, I
Fucking
guess.
fascinating.
The way that it works best for me now.
And all of your learning has changed to this new like sort of method?
Yeah, I would say that every time I learn something new now, it's different every time. And that's something that it was really frustrating
It
at
was
first. I
that
felt dumb.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
'cause it wasn't coming as
Yeah,
quickly as it was
exactly.
That's
before.
fucking amazing.
Like,
I'm sitting here thinking you're talking about neuroplasticity, right? And I'm like, "Oh my god, the ability to have everything, let's call it what it is, reset.
Mhm.
yeah.
Your hardware has been reset, and now your BIOS is trying to reintegrate with the hardware.
Yep.
And because that pathway has been dammed, it's been blocked, dammed,
Mhm.
the streams, the rivers of
Exactly.
nervous system have to create their own new tributary, all their own new little pathways,
Yeah.
and it changed everything.
Yeah. I mean, you wanna get real deep and think about how the human brain is related to the earth that we live upon.
Let's go there.
It's right there. It's
That is
right there.
true.
Something happened, a rock slide happened, an earthquake happened, and the rivers rerouted, the
Yeah,
animals rerouted, the migrations rerouted.
yeah.
So,
Huh.
that's something that I've thought about as I've been growing through it, actually, is like, this is natural. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what the world does naturally, and my brain is doing it.
Mhm.
Do I like it? Is it comfortable? No, it's not. It was totally foreign to me, but sometimes new paths are foreign, and you
Eh,
have to just keep going.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to stop by throughtherough.net to check out our latest episodes, merchandise, and hit that donation tab to keep content coming. See you again next week.